Welcome to iSpa's Product Learning Lab. Infection Prevention and Biosecurity Specialist, Virox Technologies, Matthew Buccioni, joins us today to share information about Virox Technologies' latest and greatest offerings. Matthew, let's jump right in. We can't wait to hear about the offerings that you've chosen to highlight here in the iSpa Product Learning Lab.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's really great to be here to talk about our Rejuvenate line of products. So Rejuvenate disinfectants are EPA registered hospital grade disinfectants designed specifically for spa and salon settings. And these products are based on our technology called Accelerated Hydrogen Peroxide, also known as AHP for short. And a little bit of the backstory there. So we developed accelerated hydrogen peroxide technology over 2 decades ago. And initially we were focusing on healthcare in human hospitals. And really we saw this issue there, which is that a lot of the disinfectants that were being used at the time were not necessarily effective in real world settings. And they were associated with negative occupational safety profiles, so leading to issues like skin irritation, eye irritation, respiratory issues, and things of that nature. So we really saw an opportunity there to introduce a safer technology that was more effective against killing germs in hospital settings. And really since then, we've grown to be a leading technology within healthcare. So more recently, we kind of saw a lot of these trends that we were seeing in healthcare on the professional beauty side, whether we're dealing with salons or spa settings. A lot of the disinfectants that were commonly used had, potentially poor occupational health and safety profiles and may not have been designed to really kill germs effectively in real world settings. And so that's kind of how Rejuvenate came to be more recently within this particular industry. So I guess I'll walk you through some of the different formats that we have. And really our goal with Rejuvenate is to cover all aspects of salon and spa settings. So we have our wipes here at the end. We also offer ready to use liquid spray. And these are for quickly and easily disinfecting a lot of different types of surfaces around the environment. We also offer our concentrated solution. So as you can see here, this is meant to be diluted in water. And this is really to provide a more economical choice for some of those larger surface areas. So for instance, if salons or spas are dealing with foot bath type applications or other large areas where you really want a little bit of product to go a long way, the concentrate is really great for that. And then the last thing I want to point out is our high-level disinfectant, which is called Prevention HLD8. And really, we developed this specifically for use with certain tools or other implements that have a higher risk of infection just based on the way that they're used. And an example of that would be if facilities are using tools that might accidentally break the skin during use. We have a high-level disinfectant that offers that extra level of protection for those higher risk tools. And an interesting benefit of Prevention HLD8 is that it's validated for a 21-day reuse claim. So while a lot of surface disinfectants need to be dumped out at the end of every day or potentially more frequently, Prevention HLD8 is approved to be reused for up to 21 days, meaning you can use the same batch of solution for up to 21 days without needing to discard it all the time. So that can really help stretch out the life of the product and help a little bit go a lot longer.
And I know with Rejuvenate, you also offer certifications through Rejuvenate for cleaning, correct?
Yeah, so education is a huge focus for us as well. It's as important to us as developing products. So we've definitely put a lot of focus on developing different resources to help with infection prevention and disinfection education. So one example of that is our certification program, which has educational modules to really go over those best practices and how to make sure that cleaning and disinfection is being done effectively. We also have a customizable protocol tool builder on our website, learnaboutrejuvenate.com. And really the idea behind this is it allows facilities to build a unique protocol to meet their needs. So they can enter their specific information into the tool and then it will populate with product recommendations and recommendations for how to disinfect certain surfaces, and that can be printed out and kind of made available throughout the facility just for to have convenient protocols on hand.
That's great. And where, for those who may not know, where on the planet are you guys located? Where are you located and headquartered?
So we're based just outside of Toronto, Ontario, up on the Canadian side, but we're definitely very involved both here in Canada as well as the United States. But we've always been based up here, just right outside Toronto.
And you mainly distribute through Universal companies, is that correct?
Yeah, so Universal Companies, we're very proud to be partnered with them as our exclusive distributor for Rejuvenate products. So all of our products are available through Universal, and it's a great partnership. We're very happy to be part of the Universal family of products.
That's great. They're a great company to work with to get your products into the hands of spa owners and operators. You know, you come from a more medical background. What caused you guys to make that transition from a more medical background into a more mixed use environment, such as a spa or a salon?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and it really goes back to seeing, although we think of these environments as really different, going from healthcare to a salon and spa environment. We were really surprised at a lot of the similarities that we did see between the two. And if you'd like, I can give you a couple examples of that in terms of how it relates to disinfection.
Please, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So what we really recognize in healthcare, and we're really seeing in salon and spa as well, is that it's not basically the role or the purpose of disinfectants is the same no matter what product you're using, which is to kill germs on surfaces. And we're seeing that it's not really necessarily that hard to do that in and of itself, but it's a lot harder to actually make it work in real world environments, whether we're dealing with a hospital or a spa or a vet clinic or really anything in between. And an example of this is the concept of contact time. So there's this misperception sometimes that all disinfectants can work as soon as it's being sprayed onto the surface, but this is definitely not the case. All products have what's called a contact time, and that's the length of time that they need to stay wet on the surface in order to be fully effective. And so having a rapid contact time means it's a lot more realistic to achieve that in a real world setting. So a lot of commonly used chemistries in the salon and spa side have contact times, longer contact times such as 10 minutes is fairly standard. And if the product's evaporating before that 10 minutes is reached, or it's being wiped dry or anything like that, it's going to need to be reapplied multiple times in order to get that full effectiveness that's indicated on the product label. So introducing Rejuvenate with contact times as little as 1 minute really kind of helps achieve disinfection in real world settings where you don't necessarily have 10 minutes between client appointments or every time you're disinfecting to wait and ensure that that surface is staying wet. Another example is we talk about one-step disinfectants versus two-step disinfectants. So Rejuvenate line of products are one-step disinfectants, and that means that they're able to stay effective even in the presence of dirt residue on the surface. Whereas if you're dealing with a two-step disinfectant, something like a pure bleach concentrate, or basically like a lot of just plain chemicals that don't have those formulations, you need to add a step of pre-cleaning the surface with a separate detergent product in order for that disinfectant to be effective. So definitely introducing a one-step product helps making sure that even if there's going to be some, residue of organic material, which, in real world environments, that's the reality of what we're dealing with. That one-step product ensures that you're actually going to be killing germs on that surface. And then, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say another parallel that we saw between healthcare and really across any industry where disinfectants are being used is a real focus to want to make sure that we're using the safest products possible. A lot of commonly used chemicals in the various industries are associated with poor occupational safety profiles, leading to risk of things like skin irritation, eye irritation, respiratory sensitization, or other issues. And they're also often associated with harsh chemical odors, which is just kind of further adding to the potential negative experience with safety to the user. And so Rejuvenate is a non-irritating solution, and it's not associated with any of those health hazards that we see with other commonly used products. It's not classified for any health hazards on its SDS. So facilities can really feel safe implementing this as an alternative for all disinfection.
That's great. Matthew, can you explain how, and maybe in layman's terms, how you guys are able to create a 1 or less than 1 minute kill time when many products on the market are at a 10-minute contact time, pardon me, so I use the right language.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I guess I'll give a little bit of a breakdown of how the technology works. So the only active ingredient is hydrogen peroxide, but we use a very low level of hydrogen peroxide. So what you get at the pharmacy is a 3% hydrogen peroxide solution most often, whereas in the AHP technology and Rejuvenate, we only have 0.5% hydrogen peroxide in our surface products. And this really contributes to that occupational safety profile because we're using extremely low levels, making the formulation really gentle overall. That being said, the other ingredients combined with the hydrogen peroxide really work together to allow it to have that rapid contact times. So for instance, we have a surfactant package that kind of keeps it active in soils and makes it kind of accelerates the activity a little bit. And we also have stabilizers because hydrogen peroxide by itself tends to break down right away into water and oxygen. So by itself, it's not a great disinfectant unless you add things to it, unless you make a formulation that deals with some of the problems of using it. So it's that overall blend of ingredients that results in a safe formulation, but one that is we found to be very fast and effective in killing germs.
That's great. Thank you for explaining that. I know I've always had questions about how that contact time works. So we're about to close, so I have a very simple but very important question for you. Why should a spa consider doing business with Virox Technologies?
Well, thank you for that question. And the way that I would answer it is we really view infection prevention and specifically disinfection as a partnership. So we're committed to continually developing safer, more effective products for disinfection, but we're just as committed to that education and helping facilities, really working with facilities to implement disinfection protocols throughout their facility and providing that hands-on support to ensure that they feel comfortable that their infection prevention protocols are offering their clients, their teams, and really all aspects of their facilities full protection against the spread of germs.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that and stating that so succinctly. Matthew, thank you for joining us today. Be sure to explore Virox Technologies' Product Learning Lab profile to learn more about their amazing brand and to access their contact information. Thank you again, Matthew.
Thank you so much.